Action. All right, this is Cal Cat, the Cal Catster. Welcome to Talking Pointless, the return of our commentary show spoof. That was a parody of Talking Points from the OReilly Fired. It was also a parody of just about anything Fox. It was ripping off the Colbert Report as well, which is off the air, and now it's the Tonight Show with Stephen Colbert. Anyway, so and the Daily Show is now Trevor Noah. Tonight's exciting episode, this afternoon's exciting episode, is concerning some things. You'll see Clint Cowpoke in a moment talking about them. This is the explanation as to what he's actually talking about. Some of it's a little confusing. The first talking point will be about the it seems like the Russians and the spies and the oil and all that. Greetings and welcome again to Talking Pointless. This is Clint Cowpoke walking through the training area over here, because there ain't nobody training currently. There's a training area. Yep. And so I'm walking through it and all, near the mud and all that stuff. This is the first Talking Pointless episode in several months, because we haven't had any material. Well, first of all, our new president, Donald Trump, is kind of a joke. Also, secretly, he wants to have a deal with Exxon Mobile and the Russians so that he can buy up the oil in the Black Sea. So that's his whole motivation with him and the Russians. Now, that's what I heard the tale of. Well, of course, we like oil, but probably shouldn't. So, whenever they want to go to the Middle East to do something with Syria or some other country like that, first was Iraq and Afghanistan under Bush, it's about the oil. It's totally about the oil. So, yeah. So it was. All right, there. Oh, that's trippy. This is Cal Cat, the Cal Catster, and I'm going to explain the part about the oil. Okay, what's going on is the Russians and the U.S. and just about everybody around the Arab Emirates wants to control the country of Syria because they couldn't control Afghanistan and Iraq. The reason they want to control Syria is the oil that might be present in the Black Sea. I figure the Black Sea probably has oil in it. That's behind Syria. And they want to pump the oil from there. Now, that's right up on the border of the old Russian countries and republics that used to be in the old Eastern Europe. If they control that, they control a port city, and they control the oil. So they can export it from there. So what amounts to the start of the third Middle East conflict is, again, about the oil. That's what it's about. They want the oil. They want trillions of dollars from that oil reserve in the Black Sea. That's all it is, just oil. If they just went to some other form of clean, stuff, they wouldn't have to do that. But no, the hyper-conservatives and Exxon Mobile this time, instead of Shell like last time, wants to control the thing. All of it. And BP last time as well. Shell and BP were the Iraq and Afghanistan war. Before that, it was probably someone else. They wanted to control Libya because of the Shell company had a big deal over there. They wanted to control the civil war in Libya did not work. It failed, and their state failed, and it fell apart. They tried an incursion. I guess Egypt also has connection to the oil pipeline that runs through there and up into Russia. So they wanted that as well. That also is a failed state. Doesn't seem to be working too well, even under Obama. So that's some stuff under Obama there, so that the Republicans can't complain. Then we come to the Trump administration and his friends and cohorts with alleged ties to not only Exxon Mobile, one of them being an ex-CEO, but also the Russians and the Russian spies and all that stuff, in which he basically said, hey, look, Russian spies, just do business as and whatever. Yeah, they were spies. I didn't know. Yeah, he did. Come on. And if he didn't, that's just showing negligence. I mean, just admit you had spy friends. And no, there was no wiretapping of Trump Tower. That wouldn't make sense because he wasn't president yet.
But he knew that he wanted to make that deal with Russia, with the oil companies and Exxon Mobile. Don't let them fool you. That's that part. Exxon Mobile wants to control several trillions of dollars of oil, so they want to start another war in the Middle East. That's one of the theories, anyway. And that's your talking pointless. That's that part.
And yeah, so and as for North Korea, well, I don't have any oil there, so heck with them. Anyway, but he doesn't know what the guy's name is. Mr. Trump, his name is Kim Jung Un. Yeah, he's a son of Kim Jung Il. He's a little funny in the head. Anyway, so, yeah, so Trump is like the Manchurian candidate. It's just funny. But yeah, so that's what he is. Now, going on over here, for the
and other deals. Oh, great. Anyway, so that's what's going on over there. And he didn't know who Kim Jong Un was. He thought Kim Jong Un was Kim Jung Il. Kim Jung Il died. Kim Jong Un replaced him. His daddy died, and he replaced him. And he is a 30-something Korean dictator. So Trump. That's who he is. He's the son of the other guy. So it's equivalent to Trump's son being the dictator, which hopefully won't happen. Anyway, so yeah, but they're not the same. It's just that's what it would be like if they were, but they're not really. They're just trying to be, and it's about the money and the oil. Unfortunately, the hyper-conservatives don't realize that Trump is not that good a businessman, and it might actually fail. So the stocks are up now, but we're looking at another recession in 2 years. Yeah, so...
So yeah, so there's actually some real news for the talking pointless. A couple of months ago, Fox News airs the brothers Murdoch fired their mega boss above them vicariously through their daddy, Mr. Murdoch. He done fired Roger Ailes for being a prevert and for being an asshole. So they fired him, and yeah, and there was another one in line, Bill O'Reilly. Yesterday, they announced they were going to give him the boot too. But you know.
Okay, next part. Mentioning the Kim Jong Un flap. That's well, Trump says a lot of stuff that doesn't make sense because he doesn't listen to his advisors. He only got brought in 25 of these reported 500 you're supposed to have in your cabinet. 500 people in your cabinet. He didn't hire Calcat. Needless to say, or he didn't hire Giuliani, he didn't hire Christie, he didn't hire those Fox guys, who at least would have been kind of reasonable, but he didn't hire them. So, for them anyway, it wouldn't have been reasonable, but for them it would have worked. So, even though the liberal side of the thing, which isn't in power, controls some of that, they're not, so... They're not doing well on the Republican side, and they're claiming the liberals are doing it, like with the healthcare and all that stuff. But in fact, it's the Republicans who don't seem to know what they're doing. Again, this is typical of the history repeating itself under George H.W. Bush Jr. Yeah, yet another puppet they've got in there. This gun works for Exxon Mobile instead of Halliburton. Yeah. And a failed casino.
Oh well. Anyway, here's... Okay. Bill O'Reilly. Bill O'Reilly, for years, for all of his 16 years as the top-rated cable show on the air, for all them years, he is not so secretly, publicly, been kind of a lech. He's been running around saying funny things to boosters, directors. Even one of his producers, Jesse Waters, is kind of a lech too. He's probably next. But yeah, and he's kind of a jerk. You know, he's always bringing up racial stuff. stirring up the pot, triggering folks, making them mad. I'm surprised somebody hasn't decked that guy. But no one. but yeah. Well, yesterday, Fox News announced official they fired him, and all the shows like it, because they're like, see, we got him. Yeah, they all like it. So well, yeah, he was a top-rated cable show, but he just went one too far. They settled with his other cases for $13 million, but there was a sixth one, like sister, and she done got him, not for the money, but for the official final nail in the proverbial news coffin. It was like, yeah, it was fun. I guess it was okay. It wasn't okay, but I guess to Fox, it was okay that he was doing that kind of stuff to other people in his echelon. But this was a girl. So he is fired. He got the boot. The Daily Show and the other channels is reporting it as well. And so this show is a spoof of the talking points. So it's kind of ironic that it gets to come back as a spoof. Yeah, our show done outlived his. Of course, it doesn't make any money, so that's why. But there you go. It's all about the oil and spies and money and stuff over there. And yeah. There you go, talking pointless. It's my little talking pointless thingy here out on trail to give it a visually interesting background. Yeah. Talking pointless. I knew he was taking a lot of vacations. Because the Murdoch sons are trying to be a little more liberal. Not as flamingly, ridiculously conservative. The sons want to be more liberal. Actually, that whole station should go under, because it's like they're all hyper-conservative and playing the field. Although, that's it. Many of these people, like Breitbart and Alex Jones and O'Reilly, are performance artists. They really don't believe half the stuff that's coming out of their mouth. They just say it. They're performance artists. They're hypocrites in the natural term of what a hypocrite is. Look it up in the Greek. Hypocrite is an actor that's pretending to be someone else. So yeah, given their druthers like on their own, like they put up a personality, on your cult of personality, as the Fox is. You put it up there, and you do a character, but really you don't believe half the stuff you're saying. And on your own, out there on spring break or something, you can totally tell what they're really like. Yeah. Give that boy some Irish whiskey, and I bet he loosens up real good. But yeah, so that's talking points. Actors. It's hilarious that the show now has material because I got rid of them around. But yeah, so and Trump, I don't know what he's a performance artist too. He's kind of making stuff up. He's kind of really like totally making stuff. But yeah, that's not good. But hopefully there are people with enough good sense to say, no, Donald, you can't go to war with a country over their tweets. Hopefully they got that too. Anyway, talking pointless.
Okay, yes, Clint Cowpoke is now dropping the bombshell that William Bill O'Reilly is done. He's out. They got him. He got himself. And consider what, and what's going on here is that Fox News wants to become more centrist. They want to appeal more to the masses to keep their advertisers going. So when all these scandals broke, 50 advertisers took a hike. They said, hey, we're not covering the O'Reilly factor anymore. Their revenue dropped down to the tank, and they said, well, we got to let this guy go. So they tried to settle, for 13 million of these cases that were going on. That didn't work. The advertisers were still leaving, and once 60 of them took off, they said, all right, we have to let them go. And they did. And that's what happened. The last one was the, as he said, the nail in the coffin, was that one of them was not after a payout. She said, no, I'm just going to report what he said to me. And he said all kinds of offensive things to this lady who was African American. And we know what his backstory with African Americans is. You can watch the Daily Show clip; they cover most of it, but from last night. But yeah, he does not like African Americans or anyone of color, and he's clearly racist. But that was okay with Fox for 15 years. I don't know why anyone's surprised. They shouldn't be. This culture of this, that Cowpoke also mentions, this culture of personality, cult of personality thing is ironic, considering some of his early years stuff when he covered cults and zombies on a tabloid show called Inside Edition. So yeah, he kind of deserved it, and I can't figure out why it didn't happen sooner than later. A long time ago, it didn't. Anyway, I'm recording me. Okay, this is still talking pointless, and still talking pointless. I'm aiming the phone camera over here. So yeah, still talking pointless, and yeah, I'd like to say some interesting footage here. Yeah. In 1998, on the Inside Edition program, Bill O'Reilly covered "Is Jung Un a Cult?" Among other reporters, he was one of them. Yeah, he was the one that covered the cult in Milpitas and Fremont. Also, we have because he covered it. They didn't prove it, but they covered it. Also, he covered the fake war on Christmas. It wasn't real. People wanted to call it Happy Holidays. Freaked out. He didn't want to do it live, and he had trouble with the falafel. Also, we got a bunch of other stuff. They let him do stuff. They let him be on the air, even though they knew he was a total jerk. They let him do it anyway. So it's like, well, you kind of deserve what you got with that guy. But yeah, and then about 11 years ago, during the Bush years, there were two comments on the O'Reilly email show from someone in Milpitas. It was me. Yes, I've been on the OReilly Factor, and I said something to the effect of something about George Bush and politics, and politics, and it all being about like oil or something, and he didn't like that. And also the other one was about like civil rights or something, to the effect of letting everyone be like happy or whatever. It's kind of nonsensical, but he took it out of context and made it sound like I was a liberal, which was funny. But yeah, so 2 times the Calcat show has been represented on, before the Calcat show actually, on the OReilly Factor. Yeah, in 2005 and 2006, I think. Anyway, so yeah, there. But he's gone, and yeah, so this isn't a good thing that it was on this in the mailbag part of the show, but that's what happened. The emails, letters come in. I'm surprised they even read it. Oh well, yeah. So there you go. Anyway, this is talking pointless. Little snippet on the end there. Long before the other show, long before the Calcat show, there was an audio show, as well as commentary blogs and things on political sites by Calcat, under my pseudonym, Calcat. He got to comment on wonderful places like the Daily Costs and Vun.org, and also the O'Reilly Factor's mail bag thing, of which 2 of his comments, I'm sure there were more, but 2 of them were read on the air. And it was hilarious, because my hyper-conservative parents were like, what? No! Well, was that you? So, yeah, that was me. So Not even under a pseudonym. I think one of them was Cal Cat. And, yeah, in Milpitas. That's the town next to San Jose where the show came from back then. Still does. Um, and he read it wrong on the air, so it's like a really funny. So go find the Milpitas. Well, the other one was under a pseudonym, but about the civil rights thing. But yeah, women's rights, civil rights. He didn't like that. Yeah, so as a feminist male, it freaked him out. What's that? But yeah, Talking Pointless has always been a spoof of the O'Reilly Factor. So, yeah, I'm kind of gloating, but you know, you kind of deserved what they got. Also, what the point of the Fox thing was that they want to make a deal with this big British company, so they want to clean house and get rid of all of the people that were less, which they should have done ages ago. I think this whole political thing when they did the presidential election, it made their ratings soar because they had the presidential election, but now their ratings aren't that good. They're not doing so hot. So in order to make this deal, they had to do this. It's all about money and oil and politics. And they're hypocrites. In closing, we're going to have a blooper, in which somebody was walking up behind Clint here real close, and he starts running, but he left the phone running, so it looks like he's like done something horrible, but no, somebody was coming up behind him, and he starts running. A little funny, but yeah, so anyway, so that's the closing. That's Calcatch. Talking Pointless show.
What? The reason they. Oh, good line. Something's sneaking up behind me. Don't do that. But yeah,
We had our own stuff and variety and things like that. Hold on a second here. Hold on. I'm experiencing technical difficulties. There we go. All right. Okay, Okay. Okay, yeah, the Calcat show. Long before the Calcat show, we did a yeah, and Talking Pointless. So yeah, Talking Pointless is back until something goofy happens yet again, and then we'll cover it. So